My name is Oliver Nicholson and I'm a video producer for CCP Games. I started off as a EVE player creating EVE videos, most famously the This Is EVE series. I got involved with EVE TV and its weekly show, the Alliance Tournament and FanFest before being noticed by CCP and joining up in 2008.
Military experts are calling this a sinusoidal field.
We have 5 video producers at CCP, myself, Greg, Robin, Anna and Stevie, and together we make all the video content for CCP, which includes the EVE trailers for other projects I can't mention just yet, and any other video content the company needs. We also have several others who help us out with that job, including the team's graphic designer, Solveig, our scriptwriter, Tony, and Mike, who helps us with organising everything, as well as the music and voiceovers.
Golf, that's your primary. Copy engaging. Heads up, he's let us sign out.
Hi, my name's Rob, also known as CCP Prawn. I'm a video producer for EVE Online. I played EVE for probably 5 or 6 years now, and as a player I used to make a bunch of videos for the corporations I was in, and through that I happened to get noticed by some nice people at CCP and ended up getting a job.
My name is Greg and I'm a video producer at CCP in the marketing department.
We're holding in the next system. Talon fleet, jump through now. Understood, jumping in. That's a lot of hostiles in local.
Other players are making movies from, collecting footage, perhaps footage from the game and sticking it all together, making movies, so I thought I'd give that a go. And CCP noticed and invited me to Iceland for 2 weeks to work on the Exodus trailer, which I jumped at the chance. And then one thing led to another and I ended up doing a video called EVE Never Fades, and they liked that so much they offered me a job, and that was back in 2006. So I've been here for 4 years now, 4 or 5, yeah, 4 years.
My name is Stevie Ward. I am an associate video producer for CCP Games. I'm responsible for a lot of the voiceover work that goes into the EVE tutorial videos, teasers and trailers, and most recently the new planetary interaction tutorial. I started working initially for EVE TV on our weekly show, which ran for 21 episodes, and then got pulled into working on the Alliance Tournament and FanFest shows for CCP as a presenter and eventually as a producer.
When it comes to EVE trailers, we generally have 2 main types, either an expansion trailer, which will launch alongside a new expansion for the game, or a more general trailer, which is designed to appeal to a broader audience.
Let's say this is you. One lone wolf flying a starship in the far reaches of space.
Once we know what we're trying to convey, we'll start talking to Tony Gonzalez, and together we'll come up with ideas, so he can begin working on the main script. Meanwhile, we'll start working on creating the scenes, and to do that we use a program called Jessica, which is an in-house tool that CCP has developed, which allows us to customize the motion of ships, objects, planets, backgrounds, anything we want. So we can custom make our scene exactly as we like it. While that's going on, we're also working with a few outsourcers for the music track, as well as the voiceover talent. We'll get that all together along with our footage and begin editing. At this point, our graphic designer Solveig steps in and adds all the cool effects and graphics that he's been working on, such as UI elements showing ship names, system names, stats and so on. Finally, we'll get the final edit together and send it off to a studio in Atlanta for the final sound design. And there you go, an EVE trailer. A really important stage in the process is the storyboard. As soon as we have the script mostly complete, we'll start storyboarding the various scenes. We normally keep this fairly simple. It's usually just a few of us around a coffee table drawing stick figures, but it helps get some of our ideas down on paper and work out what we need to do.
Yes, well done. Focus fire on the second carrier.
Storyboarding is, it's kind of vital to locking down what sort of shots you're going to be wanting to create, because when you have a blank canvas, you're going to want to know, what sort of ships and what sort of stuff that you're going to want to put in the scene, and what will work best for that particular shot.
Santos, support fleet is disengaging. Request permission to pursue.
So for instance, in the Tyrannus trailer, we had the initial idea to show the progression of an EVE player from his initial ship to the leader of a big alliance. We thought about having this player always in the middle of the screen while the world and the camera revolved around him.
At the point of storyboarding is when it changes a lot. We might even get a couple of script revisions in because we'll see at the storyboarding point that stuff might not work properly. And from that point on, it's pretty much locked down.
When we know the scenes we want to do, we split them up between the team members. And normally people will come up with different sections of a storyboard and say, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's a cool part, that's a difficult part, you can do that.
Because it all happened in one universe, not in separate realms, just one big sandbox.
So once we have the storyboard and we've split up the scenes between us, we start creating them. And to do that, we use Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica is essentially sort of merge between the EVE client and a 3D design application.
It allows us to import all the spaceship models, space stations, planets, backgrounds, effects, everything. We can place them where we want, we can add movement to them, add animation effects to them, and that's how we actually create the EVE scenes in the trailers.
It's got its quirks. It's not as fluid as you would have a normal 3D program, but the guys in core are doing a lot of work to make it a lot more usable for us. So for Tyrannus we had a bunch of new tools to use, and that turned out pretty well.
It takes a lot of time to create a trailer in terms of Jessica's scenes, editing, music and sound recording, and bringing all of that together. So one of the big challenges is making a trailer about something that doesn't actually exist yet.
Powerful than you think. Creation is so precious, and greed so destructive. Your choice will make a difference, because all these worlds are yours.
You are about to become what all men should fear.
All right, so once we have all the footage and the scenes recorded and collected, we then edit those scenes together, usually in After Effects, and add special effects on top as and when required.
Editing will be done after we've rendered most of the scenes. We'll start to edit it and see how shots work together. It's at that point that we start thinking about music and sound effects.
What matters most is that the experience was emergent, unscripted, because in the sandbox, all player actions, no matter how subtle or bold, always have an impact.
The music is done by these two guys, Adam and Powell, from gamesxsound.com, and they've actually done the music for quite a few of the recent trailers, including Dominion and Empyrean Age as well, I think.
The cycle of life and death was supposed to end with us.
Yeah, recently we've been doing the sound effects in a studio in Atlanta, and that's normally like 2 or 3 days worth of sound design.
Is there any fun like Foley stuff that people could...
In the Tyrannus trailer there's actually a slinky.
You're kidding?
No. Some of the laser noises are a slinky.
Target down. They let a second silo. Enemy support bridging in.
No, we are pretty efficient at what we do, but the challenge is always to make something better than we did last time. And I think we've been doing increasingly good trailers. They're getting better and better and visually more impressive. So there was always that that thing in the back of your mind, telling you to try something new and not to rest on your laurels and try do the same thing over and over again. It's a challenge, but a fun challenge.
Dreadnought in position. Very good. Start your siege cycle.
Copy. Engaging.
As a day job, it's pretty amazing. It can be frustrating making these trailers at times. Jessica isn't the easiest program to use, and it wasn't built specifically for making EVE videos. When you watch a scene in an EVE trailer, if it's over 10 seconds long, then chances are it took weeks to put together. But it's also very rewarding when we get that final product.
My favourite project so far at CCP has probably been the Tyrannus trailer, mostly because we had the production workflows really nailed down, so we could just focus on making stuff look cool.
reach heights that were once unimaginable.
There are some common myths about EVE trailers. One, for instance, is that we record everything at 10 times resolution and then shrink it down to get a much improved picture. We actually record the scenes at just a slightly bigger resolution than the final result, so we have some wiggle room in editing, but what you see is what you get.
When it comes to actually animating the stuff, Jessica uses the same textures, models, effects, everything that you get in the game client. So most of what you see in an EVE trailer these days is exactly the same as what you get in the game client. Obviously we have the advantage of being able to place everything in exactly the right position, with the sunlight in the right direction, you know, ships exploding exactly to the right time, the planets in the right area. You know, everything's laid out to look as good as it could be, but all the assets are exactly the same as what you get in game.
All the heroes and villains vanquished within cry out at once.
Not realistic, that comes up often as well, but I think most people understand that these are cinematic trailers. So sure, a fleet battle occurs within 3 minutes because that's the time we have, but the gameplay we try to convey is completely viable. And if you turn off the UI, zoom into your ship, fly about an EVE fleet battle in an interceptor, I think you'll understand.
Will be furious.
What we try to portray in the trailers is almost the emotions that you're going through as a player when you play. I mean, I remember as a player, when I was in a fleet battle, I generally flew around zoomed in. I'd die all the time, but you know, you get some really good footage that way. If you are zoomed in, a lot of the stuff you'll see in game is what you'll see in the trailer as well.
In EVE, the choices you make shape the outcome of events.
Trailers are important for a lot of reasons. One is that when you're marketing an expansion to both existing players and new players, the trailer becomes almost the #1 source of information. The number of players who read every post on the forums or every news article on gaming sites is fairly low compared to the number who actually play the game. So for a lot of people, the trailer is the first look at some of the new features coming. It's also a great tool for players to explain to their friends and family what EVE Online actually is. The trailers are also very cinematic, and the players really respond to that, and it gets them excited to play the game when they look at the trailers and think, that could be me, I could be doing that.
Take down that command ship first. Roger, engaging. Marsden, line to the outpost at speed. Talon will call your primaries.
So for aspiring video makers, all I can say is carry on creating EVE movies. We read the forums all the time and watch a lot of the videos that get posted. Most of the video producers at CCP today are ex-players who caught the eye of CCP after making EVE videos. And even today we get in contact with a lot of players who post their videos, so just keep making awesome stuff.
Командир, только что появился большой флот.
Вас заметили?
Нет.
Хорошо. Флот Дракон, можете заходить.
Прыгаем. Есть главная цель?
Ждите всех. Теперь эта система наша.
Да, командир.